Hey, what's going on, y'all? Showtime Sports Media. So, LeBron James is about a minute and a half away, a little under a minute and a half away from winning his fourth ring. And the Los Angeles Lakers as a franchise are again under a minute away from, or a little over a minute away from winning their 17th NBA championship. One less than the Boston Celtics, who I think got 18 or 19. So it's either one or two. Um, Yeah, I think it's one. I think it's one less. So 17 for the Lakers, 18 for the Celtics. Um, with a chance to tie or even pass them within the next year, the next 2 years, depending on if the Lakers repeat or three-peat, possibly. So my thoughts on the series, my thoughts on LeBron, my thoughts on AD, Rondo who stepped up tonight, which was huge. Kyle Kuzma. Um, Frank Vogel, Jason Kidd, Lionel Hollins, all these dudes, man. Just my thoughts on it, man, is like this. I said if LeBron James lost tonight, or if he blew a 3-1 lead, which we all knew wasn't really going to happen, but possibly, because this bubble shit, man, it's weird, man. Like we seen what Denver did to Utah, we seen what they did to the Clippers, and we seen the Lakers lose two game ones, and the two opening series against Portland and against Houston. And everybody was like, man, the Lakers in trouble. Which we all knew, unless they played, unless they played somebody like the Clippers, they weren't really going to get that much of a challenge. And they ain't no disrespect to Miami, but once Dragic went down and Bam went down and all those guys, right, it sort of became a foregone conclusion that the Lakers was going to win the series. And I thought they were going to win the series anyway, just because of the talent disparity. Not that much, because obviously Bam is a great center. Jimmy Butler proved in Game 5 that he a top 10 player in the NBA, and he a superstar. And if it wasn't evident last year when he was hitting all them game winners and, clutch shots for Philadelphia, including the one that got overshadowed by Kawhi when he hit his shot against Philadelphia, and that shot that bounced around the rim a couple times and then dropped down. A lot of people forget Jimmy Butler was the one that tied that game up. Jimmy Butler tied that game up, and then Kawhi won it on the next possession. But Jimmy Butler, a top 10 player in the NBA. If it wasn't evident last year, it's evident this year in the effort that he gave in those finals. He a top 10 player, and it's not even something that you can dispute anymore. I think Bam is a top big man in the NBA. Jokic and B, you could put Bam right in there. Cat, you could put all those dudes in there. Bam showed his versatility and his value throughout these playoffs. Tyler Hero, I think, gonna be a future star in the NBA. Duncan Robinson finally had his game 5, and he did his thing. And I heard somebody just say something stupid like, "Oh, Duncan Robinson is better than Klay Thompson." Like, come on now. Come on, man. This is what I'm saying. Like, throughout this whole postseason, and I kept telling people the reason why the ratings was down because it was no Warriors, no KD, no real big stars outside of LeBron, AD, and like a few other people like Kawhi and Paul George, but they on the West Coast. So like when I'm here on the East Coast, like they playing at like 10:30 at night on ESPN most of the time. They're not in the East no more. And then KD not playing, Kyrie not playing, the whole Warriors squad was injured. So it really wasn't like you didn't have that casual fan base to kind of boost some of the ratings up. And then this bubble shit, when everything stopped and then they had to wait and everything like that, a lot of people had other stuff on their mind. So, and basketball was like one of the last things that they was worried about. You know what I mean? But a lot of disrespect to Golden State, man. I seen it this year. From everybody talking about Dame better than Steph Curry, and he a better deep ball shooter than Steph, and Duncan Robinson better than Klay Thompson and all that. I'm like, bruh, like, come on, stop it. Come on now, come on. We talking about probably the best two guard in the NBA. We talking about a top, a top 10, top 5 two-way player in the NBA. Forget the scoring. He locked down the opponent's best, perimeter guard, like that. And sometimes they best player overall, depending on the matchup. But that's just it on that. I mean, we can stop that right now. But my whole thing about LeBron is like this. I don't want to have no GOAT debate discussions. I don't want to do none of that. Because like Bezos said last night, when I watched his video, or the other night when I watched his video, I can't remember if it was last night or the night before, but I watched his video, and he was basically just like, whoever you think is the GOAT, whether you think it's Duncan, whether you think it's Kobe, whether you think it's Mike, Shaq, LeBron, Bill Russell, Wilt, Kareem, it's never Magic, it's never going to change your mind. Never going to change your mind. None of what these dudes do, or none of what they have done, is going to deter you away from your arguments for the other person. And so with me, I'm partial to Kobe more so than LeBron. But I can also recognize that LeBron is a great player. And I also recognize that what he has done this season and what he did and what he can do going forward for this franchise is immense. Like, the impact is immense. And the addition of Anthony Davis, is just going to help continue that legacy, a great leg of big men, whether, it's a center or power forward, because we can't forget Pau Gasol, who was a power forward, who sometimes played center when he had to. But the addition overall of just leg of big men that can, fill up a stat sheet. Shaq, Wilt, Kareem, like I said, Powell, Andrew Bynum when he was healthy, Dwight for his 1 year in LA. And I know he had back problems and he had issues with chemistry with Nash and Kobe, and D'Antoni in his system, but he still was averaging 17 and 12. And that's not even peak Dwight Howard. For real. He was dealing with back issues. And for it to all come full circle, for him to win the championship in Orlando, the place where he started his career at, to come back from being the villain in LA to one of their most loved players and cherished players this season, to win a championship, that's going to be special for him. And that's pretty much going to end the whole debate about whether he a Hall of Famer or not, because that was just stupid. He was a Hall of Famer before he even got to this point. Rondo going to get a second ring. That up his Hall of Fame chances, and I argue with somebody else about Rondo getting into the Hall of Fame, and I'm like this. Rondo is a Hall of Famer. Like, if tonight didn't prove it, just go back throughout his whole entire career and tell me that dude ain't a Hall of Famer. And forget the regular season shit. I'm just talking about the playoffs and everything else. Winning in big moments and everything like that. The point totals he put up, the assist totals he put up, the performances he put up in the playoffs, even before this moment. Playoff Rondo is a real thing. I said it on Twitter. Playoff Rondo is a real thing. He is not to be played with. You know, Frank Vogel finally, after all those years of losing to LeBron, he helped coach him to a championship. Anthony Davis is a top 5 player in the NBA. It's solidified right now. It's solidified now. It's not even a debate no more. He is a top 5 player in the NBA. It is solidified now. Stop with the bullshit. He is a top 5 player in the NBA. Because now, not only is he putting up the numbers that he was putting up in New Orleans, he's doing it in winning efforts. And you can say, oh, it's because he got LeBron. Listen, LeBron and no LeBron, I have all confidence in the world. I have all the confidence in the world that Anthony Davis, down the line when he reaches 30s and he really start getting in his prime and he really get a hang of this once he really get a hang of this playoff success, he really get a taste of this playoff success, he gonna want more, and he gonna do everything in his power to make sure he keep winning championships and keep doing what he got to do. Even when LeBron slow down, I have no doubt in my mind that LeBron will say, you know what, I'm kind of declining a little bit. I'm not as good as I used to be. Whenever that decline comes, because we don't know, he's still doing what he got to do. Now, maybe he might not be as good as he used to be, but it's not like what we seen out of, you know, Kobe, or what we seen out of, you know, other great players once they really get out of they prime and stuff like that. But whenever that day comes when he really started to slow down, I have no doubt in my that he'll just go on and say, you know what, I'm going to just do what I did this year. I'm going to average double-digit assists. My scoring might go from 25 to 27 points a game to, I don't know, maybe 20, 22 points a game, and that's still damn good. I might average, 20 to 22 points, 10 assists, 7 rebounds. Hey, if that's a decline in LeBron James to where he taking a back seat and he really letting Anthony Davis go off, shit, I'll take that decline every single day of the week. Every single day of the week. Like I said, man, Frank Vogel, after all those years, losing to LeBron in the Eastern Conference Finals, losing to him in the playoffs, he finally getting over the hump, and ironically, he coaching LeBron. Lionel Hollins, a dude who I like when he was in Memphis, like when he was in Brooklyn, who got a bad rap, I think, a little bit in Memphis, because they really, I mean, he got them to, I think, what was their ultimate potential at that point in Memphis, because they really wasn't title contenders at that point. They was dark horse contenders. Jason Kidd is now a Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Fame player for sure, a championship player, a championship assistant. He was decent as a head coach. I don't care what nobody say. And he finally got a second ring on his finger. KCP, I still feel like he should have been the hero of the game in Game 5 because Bron missed him. He gave it to Danny Green, but, man, Danny Green got 3 rings. LeBron got 4. KCP got 1. Rondo got 2. Dwight got 1. Kyle Kuzma, he got 1. And I know a lot of people, they dogging Kyle Kuzma right now, but I'm going to say one thing about Kyle Kuzma, and I'm going to just leave it at this, and I'm going to end the video. Kyle Kuzma, I still feel like they should have kept B.I. But I'm going to tell you the reason why they did not keep Brandon Ingram. Because him and LeBron could not play together. Brandon Ingram is a guy that, like LeBron, likes to bring the ball up on the floor. He's a ball handler. He's a dude that needs the ball in his hand to create his own shot. He can get his shots assisted for him, but he's not like really a catch and shoot player. He gotta like to bring the ball up the floor. And so when you have dudes like that, you know what I'm saying, you gotta make the situation as good as possible for him. That's why when LeBron went out last year and Brandon Ingram was averaging like 25. He was averaging like a ridiculous amount of points while LeBron was out over a stretch of time. And I kept telling people, I was like, yeah, that dude gonna be a star. But I just didn't, I felt like at the time, I was like, yeah, it can work between him and Bron. But Bron might have to switch to the full spot. He might have to switch to the power forward. And not banging the post so much as just like pick his spots the way he can get off. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. But I don't think if they kept B.I., they was going to be able to get Anthony Davis because New Orleans wanted somebody they can build around where they thought, okay, he can help us. He can help the coaches on the floor score points and win games. Brandon Ingram is a scorer. He's a definition of a scorer. Dude, 6'10", long, got a good jump shot. Still can't play much defense, but I think that'll get better over time. Maybe not, but I don't think he's as bad as what he was his rookie and sophomore year. So they kept Kyle Kuzma in the deal for Anthony Davis. They let Zoe go, and they kept Rondo. They let Josh Hart go. They just kept KCP. And Caruso, who was a better young player than Josh Hart, more consistent young player. And they kept Kuzma. And no matter what y'all think about Kyle Kuzma, he may not be like a traditional number 3 that like really like he pops out to you like a LeBron. I mean like a Chris Bosh or Kevin Love was to LeBron and Kyrie, or Bosh was to LeBron and D Wade. But Kyle Kuzma, you got to remember, is a young player. To do like 3 or 4. That's due like in his 3rd or 4th year. So it may take him some time to get accustomed to, you know, winning basketball. It may take him some time to get used to playing in those spots and really honing his game and really understanding what LeBron and AD need in order to keep winning championships. And if he can't do that, then they need to find a suitor for him. Either in a trade or, you know what I'm saying, he need to walk whenever he become a free agent. And that's just it. Give it some time, and if it don't work out, you can always trade him for a pick or another player. That's just it. But for right now, I'm not going to dog Kyle Kuzma too much. I'm not going to talk about his basketball IQ. I'm not going to say he garbage and all this other bullshit. I need to see more. Because he's younger than what Kevin Love and Chris Bosh were as third options. And I know people probably going to bring up like Kyrie or whatever. Like, Kyrie was a young dude, yeah, but Kyrie had the kind of game that complements LeBron well. A dude that he can pass to and he can, you know what I'm saying, slice through the lane and get buckets. A guy that LeBron can pass to on the three-point line and he can knock down an open shot. A guy that LeBron can give the ball to and he can go ISO and can't nobody stop him because he's too damn quick and he's just so good. Kuzma is not that dude yet. And he's a third option. I'm not even talking about a second option like D Wade, who was a veteran, who was a champion by the time he got with LeBron. I'm not talking about undeniable talent that when he healthy is probably one of the top 10 to 15 players in the NBA, the top 5 point guard in the game, and Kyrie Irving. I'm talking about Kyle Kuzma, who really hasn't had a chance to get used to playing winning basketball at this level. But again, I'm just spitballing a lot of shit. I'm just saying what's on my mind right now. I'm not really going off no script. I'm not going off, you know, off of nothing I wrote down. I'm just going by what I feel and what I know and what I think about this team. But in any event, the Lakers won the championship. I'm pretty sure LeBron got the Finals MVP. If he didn't, it went to Anthony Davis. Um, and yeah, man, it's a good time to be a Laker fan. Let's see if we can do it again next year.